Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description box. Today I'm sharing with you my customer appreciation products for purchases made during February 2021. So this SLIMLINE card is a little larger than a regular sized card that I usually make. The fun thing about this is it does fit into a regular business envelope, and it is a full 8.5 inches in length, and then it's 3.5 inches in width. And so I will go ahead and walk you through how to make that card in just a minute. So the products that I'm offering for free with qualifying purchases in February are these products. And I'll go ahead and walk you through each one separately. So when you make a purchase of $50, and that's using the link in the description box, you're going to receive for free a roll of Just Jade ribbon. And this is a cotton ribbon. It's about 1/4 of an inch in width, and it's just really soft and very easy to use on your projects. And you can see here that I've used it on this card just behind the greeting. So when you purchase $100 with me in the month of February, you're going to receive the Just Jade ribbon as well as the flowers for every season gems. Now these gems are really fun and you can use them in a lot of different ways. They come in a Just Jade color as well as a clear color, and they have 2 different sizes. There's a large and a small. And you can see here on my card that I used them with some liquid glue and just adhered them to my card. And I've used the Just Jade, and here you can see those 2 different sizes. So that's with a $100 purchase, you're going to receive both of those products. So with a purchase of $150, and again, this is through me, you're going to receive the stamp set Woodland Wonder, along with the ribbon and the gems. And I've used this stamp set to create this card today. So this stamp set offers a lot of creativity, and there's some really fun examples that are in the catalog. I will also be playing with this stamp set more to give you some ideas on how you can use it. So let's go ahead and make this fun card now. So whenever I create a YouTube tutorial, I always list everything I've used in the description box below, and you can also visit my blog, creativechelsea.com, to see a written tutorial and close-up images, as well as a product list. So we're going to begin with a card base that is 8.5 inches by 7 inches. And then I've scored right in the middle at 3.5 inches. And so we can go ahead and fold along that score line and then use a bone folder to make that crease. So then I have 2 pieces of basic white cardstock. The first one is just slightly smaller than my card base. So that is 3.25 inches by 8.25 inches. So that's going to be our background here, and we're going to be doing some blending to add some color to that piece. And then the other piece I have is 3 inches by 8.5 inches, and we're going to be doing our stamping and our coloring. And then I have also cut out a scalloped rectangle from the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And it is about 2.25 inches in length. So because I'm coloring with my Stampin' Blend markers, I'm going to use the Memento Black ink. And I'm going to begin by stamping the top of the tree. One of the fun things about this stamp set is that the tree is divided, and so you can create really any size of tree with this stamp set. It doesn't have to be super tall like this one. So then I'm going to be stamping the trunk of the tree with the cute little critters in it. So now you're going to take your stamp and because it's clear, you can see through it, you are able to line it up with the bottom of the top of the tree and then bring it all the way down that piece of cardstock. See, like that. And next we're going to use the bottom of the tree. So you're going to now line this up with the bottom of the trunk and stamp it. So we have our tree all put together, and now we're going to add a little bunny off to the side and our hip hip hooray. So let's start with the bunny. Just gonna add it to a block really quick. And he's just super cute, and we're just gonna place him near the bottom at a little angle so it looks like he's kind of peeking out on the side. And then on the other side, we're going to add our hip hip hooray. And I'm gonna stamp the banner first. And then I'm gonna stamp the little bar that comes off the tree. And that just connects with the tree and goes right underneath the ties. So you're gonna get something like that. I just remembered that I do need a second hip hip hooray, and so I'm just gonna stamp that off to the side here, and we will be fussy cutting these images out. So this space can be used for that extra stamping. So let's go ahead and begin coloring. I do have a lot of Stamp and Blend markers for this card, and I'll just kind of walk you through the colors I've used as I use them. So let's start with the Just Jade color, and we're going to use this for our leaves. And what I like to do here is I'm going to start with the light color, and I'm just going to do a grouping of leaves at the same time so that my ink doesn't dry too quickly. So I've got a group there, and then you can either use the brush tip or the fine tip. And you're going to add a little dark color in the center and then blend that out with the light color again. So you're going to get a fun multicolored leaf with dark in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and just do the rest of these, and I'll speed the video up so that you don't have to watch it in real time. All right, so you can see all those fun colors and how well they blended together. So the other place we're going to add some Just Jade is down in the grass, and I'm using the light Just Jade again, and I'm just kind of making brush strokes that go along with the grass shape. Just like that. So the next color we're going to use is the crumb cake. And I've got those here, and I have a light and a dark color, and we're going to use this for the trunk of the tree. I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to add dark on the edges of the tree and on each one of these little tree markings. So I'll show you. So then just kind of add a little color to show that texture. Also add a little underneath each of these cute little animals to show shadow. Okay, so we've done all the dark crumb cake, and now we're going to fill that in with our light crumb cake. And we don't want to blend out that dark crumb cake too much. We do want to see some of that in there. So just kind of add the light crumb cake just over it, and don't worry about doing too much blending. I did add some dark crumb cake in this little banner that comes off to the side. Okay, so that crumb cake color is done. Next, let's do our little squirrel. And I wanted him to be a little bit more red, and so I pulled out my cinnamon cider. And I wanted to start with the light, and I'm going to add that all over his body. I'm going to leave his little mouth area uncolored and the inside of his ear. Then I'm going to take the dark and I'm just going to add a little bit of shadows in his tail and in his face, and I'm going to add the dark to his nose. Then I'm going to go and grab that light crumb cake, and I'm going to add that light crumb cake to his face and inside his ears. And then I just saw his little hands, so I'm going to add some dark crumb cake there. Okay, so our cute little squirrel's done. Next, let's do the birds. And for the birds, I have Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to start with the light and just fill in the whole body. Do it for both. And then I'm going to take the dark and just like the squirrel, just kind of add some shadows here and there and a little darker color along the wing. And then I'm going to grab the light cinnamon cider, and I'm going to add a little color to the beak with that. And some color to the bird's nest with that cinnamon cider. And that's just going to kind of pull out a different color. And let's go with a little darker here too, just a darker color inside that nest. Go with the brush tip. Okay, so you can see a close-up of those birds. Then our cute little raccoon, I decided to use the smoky slate for that. And for the dark, I'm going to color in his little face just with some dark smoky slate. So I didn't want it to be black because I wanted to still see those lines from the stamp. So I'm just using a dark gray color. And then I'm going to use a light gray for the outside of his ears and for his hands. And then if I want, I can go back and grab that light crumb cake and add that to the inside of his ears. So that was a really quick and cute animal. For the owl, we're going to use the same smoky slate, starting with the light, and we're just going to go all the way around his body and his wings. We'll use some Daffodil Delight for his beak. And then once we have that light smoky slate, we can go back with some dark and just add a little texture to his body and wings. And then, like I said, use the Daffodil Delight for his beak. And that was the dark color. So there's the little owl guy. And then for the rabbit, I didn't really know what color to use, so I pulled out my petal pink. It's just a very light pink color. And I wanted to do the lightest color here for the body because I didn't want it to just be white. So I got that light petal pink on the body and on the outside of the ears. And then we've got the dark petal pink for like the mouth area, the inside of the ears. And then the cinnamon cider will be the little nose. Okay, something like that. And then to add another color to this, I wanted to do the seaside spray. And so for this one, because it's on the bottom, we might see it. So I'm just gonna add some light seaside spray to this one that's going to be connected. And then the one that will be on top, this is the one we're going to pop up with some dimensionals. I'm starting with the light seaside spray again, just filling that all in. And then I'm going to do some dark seaside spray along the edges. And then I'll blend that out so that it's a little dark on the outside and light in the center. So then just get the light and start blending that dark into the light color. So you'll get something that looks like that, and then the light one for underneath. Okay, so now we are going to fussy cut this out, and it's just going to take a little bit of time. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera for this, and then when I come back, this will all be fussy cut and ready to put on our card. So you can see that I have now fussy cut out the tree along with all those cute little critters. And then I do need to fussy cut out the extra banner. And this one needs to be right along the line of the stamp because it's going to be going over the original stamp. We also do not need to cut out those little ties. So we're just cutting the banner itself. So we'll get something like that. And then we do need to do a little bit more stamping. So on some of these other pieces of scrap paper, we're going to stamp the greeting, "Happy Birthday from all of us." And I'm just going to add that to the back of my little bunny. And these can just go right onto the back together and then stamped together because we will be fussy cutting these out as well. So just go ahead and take your paper snips and you're just going to cut right along the words. So you're kind of creating a small little rectangle around these greetings. And the same with the birthday. I think the hardest part about doing something like this is to try and keep your scissors nice and straight so you get some good straight lines. And then we are going to separate the happy from the birthday. So just make a little snip right between those two words. So the last thing we need to do before we can put our card together is create this blended background. And I wanted the colors to go with the colors that I've colored the tree. So I have just Jade and Seaside Spray. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper to put underneath my cardstock for blending. And I'm going to be using the new blending brushes. I really love these brushes. They have a really soft bristle to them and they pick up the color really nicely. And what I do is I actually will start off and then blend onto my paper like that. And that just makes it so that I don't have any really strong blending lines right at the beginning. I want to go about a third way into my cardstock. So that darker color should be at the bottom and then just kind of start blending it up a little bit. So again, starting off and then blending on. And I'm going to bring some of that color up a little higher this time too. I like to work mostly in circles, but every once in a while I'll do straight lines to kind of darken up a section or to fade into another color. And we don't need it to be too dark, just a hint of color there. So next I'm going to use Seaside Spray, and we're going to do kind of a little sky to our card. So just the same thing, get some color on there, and I am pressing and rubbing the color into the bristles, and then start off and then bring it on, just to kind of prevent any really dark areas on your blending. This color is much lighter, and so you do need to kind of do multiple layers to darken it up a little bit. And you're going to bring that color down. You do want to bring it down to the green, but it doesn't need to be dark all the way down to the green. So let's get some more ink. Blend that color down. Okay, so you'll get something like that. And you can see here that there's a section that's really light, and that's fine with me. I don't want it to be super dark here. So now I'm going to start placing the things on the card. So my card base, I don't know if I mentioned, is Seaside Spray. And I recently was introduced to the Stamp and Seal Plus. And the one nice thing about this is that the adhesive is perforated. And so it's easier to pull off without getting that stringy bit that sometimes you get with just a regular Stamp and Seal. And so it's something that I've been using a little bit more lately. If you have troubles with just the regular Stamp and Seal, you may like the Stamp and Seal Plus more. So you're going to add your background piece to your card base. There should be a small little border. So make sure the blue is at the top and the green is at the bottom. We're next going to add our ribbon to the back of our scalloped rectangle. So I'm going to do that with the Stamp and Seal Plus again. Add some adhesive back there, and I'm going to cut 12 inches of ribbon. So go ahead and match your ends and place the middle in the center of the rectangle, and then it should just go straight across. And press that down into the adhesive, and then use your finger and wrap it around your finger, and then to one side, and then again finger to the other side. And you're just going to get kind of this Z shape with your ribbon. This is going to go behind our tree. And it's a little bit tricky because we do need it to fit between our squirrel and our raccoon. So you're kind of just going to place your tree down without adhering it, and then kind of get an idea of where you're going to add your label. So then you're going to take your label, and I'm going to add a little bit of tear and tape to the back. This is just going to hold the ribbon in place and add some extra strong adhesive to adhere it to the cardstock. And then with your tree where you want it, so it's kind of off to the left a little bit so that there's space for your greeting. You're just going to kind of lay this down, and then you can slide the tree out of the way to apply that to your card. I'm kind of just opening up those ribbons just slightly. Okay. We'll add the tree to our card with some dimensionals, and I've got the little minis. These are nice because they kind of fit right behind the animals, so you can support them as well. I'm just kind of placing one on top of each animal face. I can see the ink as it kind of comes through, and one behind the banner, and then just a couple at the bottom just to support that piece as well. Just make sure they're not poking out. If they are, then just use your paper snips to cut what is showing away. Then go ahead and add this to your card. And we're just kind of placing it again in the same spot as we already kind of decided. all the way down. Add your hip hip hooray with another dimensional. And you can just place that right over the first banner. It should line up perfectly. It's kind of a fun little extra element to add. And then the happy birthday from all of us. I'm going to add this with some glue dots. So you're just going to roll your glue dots until you find one, and then place the glue dot on the greeting. If any of that glue dot is showing, you can just tuck it underneath the cardstock. So I'm going to do the from all of us first, and I'm going to place that just in the center here. So it's kind of off to the side, but centered in this area, that's open area. Then I'm going to do birthday. So find the next one. This one probably only needs one glue dot in the center. And I'm going to place this one at a slight angle. And then we have happy. And we've got that fun card, and we're almost done. The last thing I wanted to share with you was how to add these flowers for every season gems. And for my first card, I added the just Jade color, but for my second card, I wanted to show you what it looks like with the clear. So I'm going to use the multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just adding some very small dots with this glue. So I've gone ahead and added glue to a couple different areas on my card, and I do want to keep them in groupings of 3. So you can see here at the top I have 3, and over here by the greeting, and then I have 2 and 1. Now the nice thing about this glue is that if it dries slightly, that's okay because it still stays sticky. And I'm going to be using both tips of my Take a Pick tool. So my putty tip is going to pick up the gem, and then my pointy or paddle end is going to place it and hold it on the glue, because the glue isn't quite tacky enough to pull it off of the putty. So you can go ahead and start to add those to those dots of glue. I'm going to place a small one down here. And you can just see how fun that looks on your card. Even the clear ones add a fun little texture and embellishment. Okay, so now we can just let those dry, and our card is all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card today. Remember, if you're interested in receiving these products for free, you can visit my blog, and the link is listed below in the description box, where you can get all the details, and there's a link to shop my online store. Thank you so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.